This is Christopher Fisher's Midnight Express. I'm going to go through this line by line. That's probably the easiest thing to do. And we're going to start with the left hand. So the left hand throughout this whole first page is staccato. You have the word that says simile. That means same, that you're going to play all that left hand staccato through the rest of that page. Probably throughout the rest of the song. I'm just going over the first page. So we have a pattern that's very similar throughout the first page that is called an ostinato. And basically whatever note you start on this note, go up a fifth, jump the octave, and go back up the octave. So like that first measure, C, G, down to low G, up to that next G, below middle C. So let's do line 1. So line 2 is the same for the first two measures, measures 5 and 6. Then we have a switch up at measures 7 and 8. So we are in the key of C minor, which means that we have a B flat, an E flat, and an A flat. So every time you see a B flat, it needs to be flatted. So again, a flat is the very next note to the left. So you find a B, and that black note, B flat. Every time you see an A flat, it needs to be flatted, or an A. So you can find A. Very next note to the left is that A flat. And then every time you see a E flat, you find the E, go to the very next note to the left. Okay? So that measure 7 has an A flat and an E flat. And measure 8 has a B flat in there. So we're going to go like this. A flat, E flat, E flat, E flat. Then we go to B flat, F, F, F. So that whole second line sounds like this. Go to A flat, flat, go to B flat. So it's kind of like this pattern, you know, it's just you're switching notes. The third line is the same as line 1, so we're going to skip that. And then the fourth line is the same as line 2. So the biggest thing with this left hand is really just making sure that you're flatting the notes that need to be flatted. That we have at measure 7 again, an A flat, an E flat, down to E flat, back up to that higher E flat, then we're at B flat, up to F, down to a lower F, back up to the higher F. So that's probably the part you have to watch out for the most, and that the first note of every measure is going to start on your third finger. When you're jumping octaves like that too, try to keep your wrist from getting tight. So we want to relax wrist and kind of just think about hopping down and rotating that wrist rather than being stiff. If your hand is too low on the piano like that, it's going to be hard to do your octaves. You're going to be really strained. So you need to be elevated, relaxed wrist, rock it back and forth. Just rock it back and forth. None of that, okay?